We are a go. What's up, Elijah?
Yo, what's up? How you doing, bro?
Oh man, I'm doing good, doing good. What are you? Well, I guess I'm starting. So, any small talk, real quick? You want to get ahead?
Uh, as far as
Uh,
I guess, uh, happy April Fools, but I ain't got nothing to fool anybody with. We're starting this podcast way too late.
yeah,
I'm
this is
I'm already
April the
feeling a little
1st.
tired.
Yeah, he's tired. I'm
Yeah,
tired. We've been dealing with technical difficulties for like the past what hour and a half, 2 hours.
yeah.
It's been rough, man. Note taking was rough on the subjects. It was a pain in the ass, but hey, we're getting it started. So I guess I'll go ahead and go straight into this. That way we're not running too late. We're not running like all freaking night. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go straight in. So we got. I'm talking about Doge today. Elon Musk and his team on the budgetary spending stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and put in because all of this information that I pretty much got has come from the Elon and Doge team. Get behind the scenes, look at their mission from Fox News, and I'll link it into the description as well. It's an interview between the Department of Government Efficiency and the Fox team member. So I'll go ahead and get right into it. So the different stuff that I learned going through this is pretty interesting. Some of the shit that like I've actually noticed here. So Elon said that the goal of Doge pretty much. I'll just read off my notes as how this is going to go. So Elon said the goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion, and this would cut our current deficit of 2 trillion in half. So, but he also said he wants to cut federal spending from 7 trillion to 6 trillion. And I want to emphasize this real quick. These are trillions of dollars. This isn't what comes after million. Billion comes after million. Just to put that in perspective. I know that's common sense, but think about how much money that is. Think about if you had just $1 million, everything that you could do with it. Then think about if you had $1 billion, how much you could do. You would never be able to spend $1 billion all the way. If you actually like used your money and didn't just write $1 billion check. Like if you could go out and just buy shit at that point and not even care. You could buy houses, shit like that. Like a fucking Chris Hemsworth's house, like $20 million house, like it ain't shit. These are trillions of dollars. Trillions. Just to put that into perspective. So his goal is to cut 15% of spending, and he says that he is going to cut this from waste. So like government spending waste. He also says that this goal is really quite achievable. He also says that the government is not efficient, and he believes that a 15% cut can be done without hurting any critical government services like Social Security, different things like that, HHS, all that good stuff, NI or NIC, however you say that. But when asked what is the most astonishing thing you have found out in this process, he replied, "The sheer amount of waste in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing." Those are his exact words. That's quoted. And this is also a quote. We routinely find a waste of $1 billion or more casually. Like whenever they're like casually investigating this, they find at least $1 billion of waste just on average. And Musk's example is a simple survey that has 10 questions with a question like, do you like the national park? Because this is a real one. He used it as an example, but this is actually a real one that come through. They put out a national park survey or whatever. And like I said, it has questions like, do you like the national park? That you can make for 10 grand, right? You can make these for like 10 grand using a website. That's what he said. I could make it for free on fucking Google. Literally like Google Answers or whatever their little platform is called. But like basically that you can make for 10 grand would change the government almost, or basically like what you can make for 10 grand, they charge the government $1 billion to do it. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a second. They're also open to be, or there also appeared to be no feedback loop for what will be done with that survey. So even though the people are taking the survey, they're not actually using the survey, is what it appeared to be happening. So like even if they went in and said, "Do you want more benches on the south side of the park?" They're not actually really paying any attention to it. And why would you? If you're not getting monitored in your job, why would you really even give a crap about the benches there, He also says that the government... Oh, wait, hold on. He flipped the page. So, Musk is a special government employee that only has 130 days. And when asked if he was going to continue on after the 130 days, Musk replied, "I think we will have most of the work required to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion within that time frame." So basically, after this 130 days, which will be in May, so by May, Elon's going to be quitting, pretty much. He's going to be quitting his position there. I don't know about the rest of Doge, what's going to happen, but you do know that Doge is built up of software engineers, like different company owners. Elon is not the only like CEO that works there. He's asked multiple other people like to get in with him. And when asked, how do you report the debt? Like, is there a time frame? Like, is there a time frame? Like, at 100 days, do you report it and then y'all do something about it? Musk responded, "We are cutting the waste and fraud in real time." So they're not asking anybody, they're doing. And they said their goal is to cut $4 billion a day, every day, 7 days a week. So they have to find $4 billion of waste or fraud every day and cut it out and make sure it's not going on. $4 billion, and this is easy for them. Right now, this is easy to find $4 billion of waste or fraud, which is kind of crazy, wouldn't you think? Elijah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You falling asleep on me?
Yeah, I've been kind of zoning.
Yeah. So far, he said that they have succeeded in doing this. So they've cut $4 billion every day so far. And Musk responded to the ready, aim, fire criticism, which is basically he's just pulling up to these government facilities, pulling up. He's just taking their shit, going, "Okay, look, we're shutting it all down. Screw you." He responded to that criticism with reinforcing that they are double-checking everything and sometimes checking 3 times before cutting any finances. But he also said that the government is not efficient. Oh, wait. What the hell happened to my note? Hold on. But he... I'm sorry, I'm reading Shakespeare here is what it seems like. Sometimes when he's talking, it's hard to actually get some notes down because he stutters a lot. But he did say that mistakes can and will probably happen, and said making no mistakes in this position like that will be like telling a batter he will have to bat 1,000 without messing up one time. That's very hard to do. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, to bat 1,000. That'd be pretty fucking hard. He also said, when we do make mistakes, we correct them quickly and we move on. And Musk, where are we at here? I feel like I've skipped over something here. I've had to. Where's Steve? I talked about Steve in here. Where the hell did Steve go? Musk and Steve Davis, here we go. Musk and Steve Davis both agree in a statement that without Trump and his cabinet, the success of Doge would not be possible. And Steve Davis is also a member of Doge. He's one of the top people of Doge alongside Elon. And when asked if there are any are like actually finding the money, Steve responded, backing up Elon's claim that the minimum impulse bit is around $1 billion. So like their impulse spending is $1 billion pretty much. That's just their impulse. Like not 1 million, not like 100 grand. It's just straight $1 billion. Basically, whenever something goes to Congress, they're like, hey, like the whole condom deal where they sent condoms across seas. They basically just threw $1 billion at it and was like, get out of my face. Here you go. You know?
Yeah.
So he also responds to the question and brings up the survey. He said that the $830 million would not have been found without Doge working with the Department of Interior, and he backs up there's legitimately or the legitimacy of Doge by talking about the evidence and all the processes that they do are recorded and are put on Doge.gov, which is the Department of Government Efficiency.gov. It is the actual website. You can go to that. He said that they will be up. It's not quite in real time yet, but he said within the month, within like the end of the month, it should be in real time. So yeah. For everything and like, because anybody can log on and see this. This isn't something that, you know, like you have to have a special, like, you have to provide all this information. Like, you can just straight up log into that website and go straight to it and see everything that's going on. And when asked if Congress had any say in the matter, Musk responded, "We are trying to keep Congress informed as possible, but the law does say that money should not be spent fraudulently or wastefully. It is not contrary to Congress to avoid waste and fraud. It is consistent with the law and with Congress, and we have seen great support from Republicans and some Democrats." He said occasionally some Democrats. He also said that when Congress attacks Doge, it's never on the specifics. It is always whether what they are doing is constitutional or not. When asked what things they are doing they don't agree with, they can never answer the question. They never really respond with, hey, I don't like how you're cutting Social Security and giving an exact answer of it. They just say, he's going to take away your Social Security. He's taking away money from Social Security. They're fear-mongering, basically. If you actually go back and watch some of them talk, like Chuck Schumer and a couple other people, they actually just straight say, oh, he's going to ban Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security from the inside, which is actually in my notes somewhere. But Joe Gabbia, I'm hoping I said his name right, or Joe Gabbia, or something like that, brings up the mine that we discussed in a previous episode. You remember the mine, right? The whole Social Security mine that we talked about.
They were going down that little mine shaft.
Yeah, that where only 8,000 people can retire at one time because of that. He brought up that, and if you guys want to hear more about that, go back to our old video and watch our old video where we did talk about that. Right? Yeah, I believe first or second episode, yeah. And then Doge engineer Aram Mohandasi, I think is how you say his name. His last name's a hard name to say, especially for an old country redneck like me. You know, that's a little bit of hard word to say there, buddy. Yeah, Mogadasi and his team is who go in and look at the data sets and the other information. So these guys are the people who actually sit down and do the research on the computers and like confiscate computers and actually look and investigate the fraud and stuff like that. And I believe he is I could be wrong, but I believe this dude is a software engineer. It might be the other guy. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that he's the software engineer in some form. I know he's some form of like computer person, like CEO. And then you have the findings from his team, and it's the government IT costs is $100 billion, and it is funding systems over 50 years old, like the Social Security systems or the IRS systems. And he said the old systems cost a lot of money to maintain, and the efforts to improve them are very delayed. Democrat leaders have been throwing claims saying that Musk and Trump are trying to destroy Social Security from within. Aram denies this is their goal and highlights their goal, which I do like. He actually tells people what they're actually planning on doing instead of just saying, this is not what we're doing, and then ends it there. So their goals, he highlighted two major goals, which is helping people with benefits protect from fraud and to make the experience better. Example would be 40% of the calls to Social Security are calls to change bank accounts numbers. Basically, their direct deposit forms, stuff like that. They want to change that. They want to like change their whatever into a different account. 40% of these calls are from fraudsters. This is 10% off of being half of the calls to Social Security all being fraud calls. And Musk says in response to the people who think that this is going to hurt their benefits by like them going in and doing stuff, he wanted to emphasize the fact that it is not going to hurt them. He said that it won't, and that it will actually help them. He says that with the help of Doge, people will receive more money, not less. So they will receive more money on their Social Security retirement, not less. And he says this, another reason why he says this is because the old systems, like they said in our old episode, Social Security is done by hand. Like almost all the paperwork, everything is done by hand. And calculations had been wrong. They found it where they're not actually getting what they're supposed to be getting back. You all right there, buddy? Am I boring you to death?
Talking,
Am I boring you to death? Or are you just
keep
tired?
Talking. Damn.
Shit, where did I leave off? Right here. Steve says that there are 15 million people alive who are marked over the age of 120 in the Social Security system. This is something that has been identified as a problem since 2008. So, since 2008, this has been a known issue, and nobody has really done anything about it. And then they wonder why their employees aren't actually trying to fight this. So, Doge is working carefully to fix this issue. And Brad Smith, who's been working with the HHS, which is the Health and Human Services, which Robert Kennedy is running, wants to change the university grant so that the researcher gets 85% of the money and the university gets 15%. Because right now, the researcher's only getting 60% to put towards their research, and the university is getting 40% to put towards the research. But the universities aren't necessarily using that money for the research. It's like when a high school gets grant money and then they just, instead of putting it towards classes, they dump it all on the football program, or they dump it all in yeah they dump it all in something that the money wasn't even supposed to go to, other than the percentage that actually goes to that person. That's what he's wanting to change. So yeah. So the NIH has 700 different IT systems, and around 27 different chief of information officers, which is basically like your head guy. And this is causing issues because this makes it very difficult because many of the systems can't communicate together. When you have that many different systems, all of them ranging from a variety of different ages and all kinds of different crap, and it scares me to think about that in the position in the field that I am in, because when you have old computers that are running off of, like, let's say they're running off of Windows 7, Windows 6, or they're running off of, like, it wouldn't surprise me if some of those mineshaft computers are running off of Windows XP down there. You know, that's a big security risk. That's a big cybersecurity risk, and I feel like that needs to be addressed. And hopefully they are addressing it, because I know that they did say that Musk says about almost their entire work there so far is on computer systems and keeping them from failing, and also to upgrade them to make sure they're up to par and that they're on date. That stuff is actually getting done there. But that's the end of my notes for right now, and this is a possible topic that I can bring back up because I didn't get to 100% finish the email or the, what do you call it, the actual video, because we were running out of time here. Like we said, we've been going at this for like 2-something hours, just trying to like pump ahead. Elijah just says a time frame here with 22 minutes in.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just letting you know as a timestamp. So yeah, we can move on from my topic. Let's go ahead and hit up yours. Hopefully yours is interesting and draw some attention.
So as I could see from your notes, some of it actually did follow up on the I think our original podcast notes about wasteful spending, and it kind of, I guess, followed up a little bit more. So I'm nice to know that you found out more information and got more insight. I'm a little bit sleepy, so I may kind of just rush through these notes a little bit.
I got you.
But I got 3 subtopics within the main topic. And also, we're gonna quickly play some videos from TikTok, and some of them I do want to laugh on. But since we've had so many technicalities, you may see us have the most plain vanilla reactions to the videos, just to keep from like loud sounds from coming up, because we've said, we've been having so many issues.
Yeah, we
Trying
just
to get this right.
it's tiring, man. We went through crap done here.
You know, we got school. He has work and school, and then of course I got school with some classes, different things like that. I want to get my mind, right? So without further ado, we'll be getting into it. So he was talking about Elon Musk, being the head of Doge, and in this case, Elon Musk is more of a target more than anything. And I'm kind of going to just kind of mention how both sides are looking at him. So y'all probably heard of this already, and you probably have, but you heard of Tesla takedown?
Not that much, no. I know that I've heard about the car bombs and stuff like that. They're making out Teslas with the big batteries and stuff. But which, yeah, I can see that. I mean, you can take a regular car battery and turn that thing into a bomb, blow up the whole front end of your car, or you can blow up a whole fireplace with it. So if you times that battery into a giant battery in a car, obviously bigger explosion, bigger hazard there.
Yeah. So to give a brief synopsis, global protests have and are taking place against Elon Musk for cutting budgets and mass firing of federal workers. People in general are not, I guess, cool that a billionaire is running the Department of Government Efficiency, and they don't like him giving out orders. And one man stated, his name's James Decker. He's a protester that went to one of these events. He believed that the country could become a dystopian and hellscape. And a lot of these protesters here think that the fund cuts are affecting the Medicaid, National Institutes of Health. So they're thinking, being able to find cancer research, whatever, going on with bones or, genetic diseases or we won't have the funding to find peers for them. U.S. Department of State jobs are being affected, and any other kind of government job is being slashed for the time being to cut down on some waste because they're starting to find out that some of the spending towards these agencies are not effective, and they feel like the money's not being fully used towards the department. So almost with that analogy of how you said a high school kind of
Yeah.
gets whatever payment received, and it's supposed to go through the education, supposed to go through the books, the teachers to be able to buy supplies, principal, be able to manage the school, build better facilities, become a better learning institution. Instead, they're just handing to the football or the basketball
Just to,
team and
just to,
whatever.
just to cut you off real quick because I did something while you was talking because I know more technical difficulties because he can't actually see me right now. I did step out the room because I like scratched my foot, but I could still hear everything he said. Because I needed to like grab something to put on it because literally like it's started freaking like burning and bleeding on me. I think I scratched it on the bottom of my chair, but you can continue.
What is that? What the
Yeah.
fuck
Man, what a night.
Well, some of the protests are, getting pretty violent. Vandalism, arson, shooting, graffiti, domestic terror threats are being committed at different Tesla facilities around the nation, and this has been going on for about I think 2 weeks now. Protesters have also advocated for people to sell their shares, don't buy any Tesla vehicles, sell them, get rid of them if you have to, and anything that has Elon Musk name tied to it, they want it to be boycotted. But the FBI has now decided to launch a task force. So now they're wanting to come out, launch a unit that's going to do investigations and check up on what's going on with the domestic terrorism and try to prevent any further attacks from occurring.
Yeah.
There have been also online forums stating that there will be mass protests on April 5th, and they're encouraging people to join. And this article that I have, I don't have the direct link, but it's from CNN, and you can look up the editor. I think I can't remember. I forgot the name, or the gender, but the name is Alive LSR.
Yeah.
So if you want to
And
check
I
out
would
that
like to
article,
say as well while you're talking real quick. Sorry to cut you off again. Um, we are using a multitude of different media services, and I don't want to frighten you guys on this because a lot of you are going to be like, "Hey, CNN, Fox, oh my God," you know.
yeah,
Yeah, like I think it's a good thing that we are using a wide variety and a wide range, just because we're trying to actually get the truth to you guys. We're trying to actually explain different sides, different things, and so I would appreciate if any of you guys who do watch didn't bring the point up where it's like, oh, you guys are fake news, you guys are false news, you guys are horrible people because you're using this source. Not everybody at these organizations and all are bad, and we are double checking what we are giving to you and making sure that this stuff is right. But I did want to comment on the protests as well. Now, you will notice back at the January riots at the Capitol, um, I wouldn't really call it a riot, but the protests that happened there, they literally opened the gates like for the people. They didn't try to keep them out. They opened the gates for them. They went into the Capitol. They went in. They started doing stupid crap. People were posting it on Instagram, posting it on Snapchat. And guess what happened months later? People are getting arrested. They're getting arrested for walking in there. They're getting arrested. People on video, people on cameras. They're getting pictures. They're running diagnostics to figure out who exactly you are, who stepped foot in there. They're checking cameras. They're arresting people. And basically, my thing to tell all of you people out there is to be careful in these protests, because if not, you can accidentally wind up getting yourself arrested or worse. Because what they did essentially is, I think personally, it was an attempt to put Trump under a lot of fire. I think it was a move by the Democratic Party to let him in to do this type of deal and to screw over Trump with it. different people have different thoughts about it, but I know the way this world works. In a, I don't know everything, but I do know people do twisted and messed up things. So they're gonna do this on purpose to try to harm somebody else's campaign or to keep them from running again. And that's what we call dirty politics. But Elijah, if you want to continue, sorry for interrupting you.
You off your soapbox now?
Man, screw you. Continue. Oh God, it's gonna lag
so
like
my
hell.
second subtopic.
There we go. Oh, I had to plug in my computer. Okay, now, there you go. Go ahead.
The April 5th protest. So this is the next subtopic. So Bernie Sanders, y'all, you know who he is. He's like 90 years old, walking around. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's a representative of New York, Castigate, I think. And they have gone through the states of Arizona, Colorado, and Nevada, and they have been speaking at these different rallies to people. And it's not like 100 people are showing up. I think they said a crowd at Denver around 34,000 people showed up, which is actually not too bad.
Yeah.
When you look at that. And they're talking about they don't want America to be an oligarchy, and they don't want billionaires running the country. And Elon Musk he doesn't respond directly to it.
Yeah. It's like a fire back at Doge and at Trump.
Wait.
Yeah, continue. I'm just
Elon
throwing
Musk
little thoughts out.
Argues that the country is headed toward bankruptcy and fears that America will fall if we're not cutting out wasteful spending and certain government jobs that really haven't been doing their max potential aren't getting cut, and then he feels like the country's going to head to bankruptcy. Now that doesn't mean tomorrow the country's going to be officially cooked, but you can see at some point like 2030 or something is what he's what he's meaning by that.
Yeah.
And now this is the real scary part. So different factions of liberal parties are planning to do nationwide protests. And more specifically, they actually plan to go to the National Mall in Washington, D.C. I think they're also maybe going to Capitol Hill. I have to follow that up. But they're going to, back to the Tesla centers. And I don't know if y'all been hearing on these different social media apps, but they said originally 1 million were supposed to show up, and now they're saying 2 million. I'm hoping that they're kind of just blowing smoke and just, definitely like stretching out the topics. But this is all being organized by a group called Hands Off, and their whole real battle is that for Trump and Musk, that this country is not yours. You can't just move money how you feel or how you're doing it, because some of these people are actually affected, actual federal workers. But then again, you got other people in these liberal groups. I don't want to be too specific, but they're trying to take advantage of what's going on and try to get in on the whatever they can do.
Yeah. If you don't mind my interjection real quick, it's like the Trump and them had fired in the Department of Education. They just fired thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people over there, and they're completely dismantling the whole thing. So people are losing their jobs pretty heavily. But it's something that happens. The companies do it all the time. Different stores do it all the time. I mean, shoot, even like McDonald's and crap do it. It's downsizing. Stuff has to happen sometimes. And when we've had a corrupt system for so long like this, where things are going bad, and nobody's wanting to fix it, of course people are going to get positions that they probably shouldn't have. And if you're not working, you're going to get cut. But continue.
And then the last little bit, so White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, she just said that Trump wouldn't be bothered or affected by these protests. So obviously, I imagine security is going to be kind of a little bit higher this upcoming weekend, just in anticipation that some of these people might do something. Because, like I mentioned earlier, arson, shootings, different kinds of vandalism has already happened at these Tesla company little facilities. So it wouldn't be surprised, if they actually do it on April 5th. But this article came from Yahoo News, and the editor was David Knowles. So if you want to check that one out as well, I don't have like a link because, like I said, I wrote this down on paper and kind of paraphrased everything. But yeah, that's what I pretty much got from that topic.
We'll get the
So
we'll
any
get the we'll get the. I'll have to get the link off of you later for both of them. We'll have to look up the article that way I can put them in the description.
any other thoughts you got?
No, not really. You want to take the? Is that all your notes?
Got one more topic, and
One
this is
more.
more of a
Okay.
deeper message. So here, I don't have any article links from here because this is kind of based off of my memory, but it's not like terrible. So my last topic is Black Lives Matter protests. So this is from the 2020 section of it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you remember, but it was pretty big nationally. It happened after the death of George Floyd. A lot of cities began to erupt in protest. You know, "I can't breathe" was a big phrase being talked about. Cities were literally on fire. All kinds of vandalism, theft, looting,
Yeah.
like I said, arson. It was
People
just
took something that could have been a great cause and then used it for looting and rioting and different things like that as well. Yeah.
and the bad part is that the people that were doing that specific actions, they weren't even part of the protest. They weren't even the people actually marching, looking for the injustice. They looked at the opportunity that, oh well, now security is blockading this street, or this interstate. All right, I'm gonna go to this Target. I'm gonna go to whatever this store, Gucci, wherever. I'm gonna go here and take advantage of it, which is just really silly because it puts a bad
Yeah.
slander, puts a
And
bad
then
name on
yeah.
the people that you know.
And then you have people who are just generally trying to, number one, defend their stores, and you have people like, oh God, what's his name? He actually ran for office, but there was a big shooting in between it where, actually there were multiple. There was one family where they actually tried to rob a house, and the dude come out and killed multiple of them. And he wound up catching the most flack for that, which I think is kind of crazy. And then there was another guy who was defending the store. And whenever he was defending the store, a bunch of people come up and try to rob it. So he's brandishing his weapon. He's got a AR, I believe,
Yeah,
sitting there holding that, and he shot at a bunch of people out there as they were coming up to try to rob the store. And they chased him down, tried to beat him up, stuff like that. And he wound up shooting a couple of them, and he made it back to the barricade, like the police barricade deal, and wound up getting onto the other side. And they had like helped him out there, but he caught a lot of flack for it, potential like jail time, stuff like that, over hate crimes, stuff like that. But in reality, the man was just trying to defend the public sector. He's trying to defend. He basically what our Second Amendment rights give us to take up arms and to defend your property and other people's property as long with it. To stand up actually for your common man.
so as we know, police force is pretty heavy there, military force is
Yeah.
up, and martial law did not get activated. But let's be honest, and I got a question for you. Do you really think it could have, like, we were that close to almost getting it activated? Because they were like
I think
really trying
martial
to do
law should have
everything
been
possible.
activated after stuff started burning down. I feel like they should have rolled National Guard in, de-escalated the situation, and put them back. But if they would have did that, people would have been screaming and in an uproar, "Oh, government takeover! It's time to get our guns. It's time to stand up to the government," stuff like that. So it could have blew it even more out of proportion. But I do feel like National Guard should have been sent in to de-escalate and put in a curfew into effect. Because during the day, these activities should not have been as bad as they were at night. Which, if you
Yeah,
just
'cause
set it
mine.
up, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like it was one night deal. I mean, this happened like, how long did it happen? Like 2 months straight?
Yeah, this was a long while it was happening. And when you have streets flooded full of people, it's hard to control. That's why I said if you had the National Guard out there instead of just the police, they could have covered more ground. And then whenever nighttime starts hitting, hey, you need to go back to your house. Hey, you need to go back to your house. And actually, like, put down this curfew. And if you're homeless and stuff, that could also help out the homeless because you're identifying homeless people. And you could, like, possibly help them out with shelter, help them out with food, stuff like that, help them out with clothing, bring them in. I mean, you have stuff like the Salvation Army. They could have had them out there alongside the National Guard actually helping these people and bringing them in and trying to get their lives straight. And then National Guards, hey, I'd be offering sign-up sheets out there, wouldn't you? I'd have sign-up sheets. You're homeless, you need a job, you need somewhere to stay, sign up. You know? We'll
Yeah.
provide you food, water, shelter, clothing. Sign up. I mean, that's just me, but.
Oh, yeah, them videos. You got those videos?
Yeah, I got the videos. You ready for the videos? Which one you want first? You want to connect everything we've
Uh,
been saying with Trump first, or do you want to play the other one just for.
since I've already kind of dove into the Black Lives Matter, let's go ahead and talk about the that point video I sent you to sit your tail down with.
Okay, I guess you. Hold on.
Unfortunately, you won't get a true reaction out of me because of audio difficulties.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing they're gonna see is the actual video, because that's just the way it's gonna have to be right now. But they can still hear us.
Why? I'm not gonna say nothing. Let me see.
Oh no. Okay, there we go.
People are going to march in the United States in April. 1 million people.
Sit your black ass down.
Okay, that was the video there.
Oh God! Hold up.
Yeah, no, you probably couldn't hear it all that well. Let me go ahead and swap you over because you just blew the ears off some people out there.
Blew the ears off.
Yeah, so the desktop audio was turned up all the way for the video because for some reason that video is super quiet. But you also pick up on the desktop audio until I like basically mute that desktop audio. You'll be super freaking loud. Like you're in the red in the audio spectrum the whole entire time. In other words. But yeah, continue. I played that video.
But yeah, so that video, I think the message there is that a lot of these people that are affected, either A, like I said, they were liberal groups, and B, you even had some Republicans that they feel like they may have made a mistake voting for Trump, so they're trying to do it as well. I'm hearing there's people of Hispanic descent coming to do this. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if you somehow happen to be an actual illegal immigrant, do not take your tail to the protest. Don't give them a literal free pass. You right here, don't even show up. That's got to be like the dumbest thing you could do.
Yeah.
But
And on top of that, if you're an illegal immigrant, get legal. But
just don't even show your at this point.
Yeah.
Don't even show your ass up because you really can't. You really kind of
Yeah.
screwed because if you try to, you're gonna get kicked
Yeah.
out. And if you get caught, you get kicked out. You're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think the biggest. Wait, I got a theme here.
Okay, I guess you.
So I think the biggest theme, and obviously y'all heard the audio recording, is that we don't need to fall for this same trap this weekend. They're trying to get as many African Americans in it when it's convenient for them. Don't make this your fight. There hasn't been, any kind of police brutality towards somebody of my skin color. There hasn't been, some kind of crazy footage we've seen on the news. No real discrimination. You haven't seen nothing insane happen publicly. Don't make it worse than it can already be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that 100% because they're definitely going to try to use any minority that they can to be like, oh look, they're supporting us and they're over here. The Republicans are over here just discriminating and spreading hate and they're shooting black people and they're killing off black people because we're working in a time where it is no longer people are no longer talking about, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. This isn't like the old days when you used to actually have to sit down and speak a little bit of the truth, or else people were going to be in an uproar. Now it's more of a everybody's working in absolutes. The more controversy, the better. The more like the higher the percentage of panic that gets caused, the more for money that goes in their pockets for one, and the easier it is to secure votes. Like the Democrats are saying, hey, they're gonna take away Social Security, like I said before. You're gonna lose your check. They're like fear mongering people into trying to vote Democrat. And sometimes the Republicans are doing a similar strategy. No side is really innocent.
The next thing on here is, like we said earlier, be precautionary of police and potentially military presence. If you really show up and get out of hand, that's the last thing you want to hear is martial law. I'd say for now, get some, food. So I'm not saying buy a whole year's supply of food this weekend, but kind of, and you should always be buying a little extra, to have over for situations where maybe a week or two gets pretty bad. So you want to stock up food, water, toiletries, have radio kits, batteries, and essentials that's going to work to your needs. And watch the news and pay attention, read articles like how we're doing right now on this podcast. Actually look at some different information sources and different things like that. Stay up to date because it won't be a shock to you if you're following up on what's going on. Because even some of this stuff is even going around global. It's not even just, domestic. And then as far as my last part of my message, just to stay blessed and stay safe. And then can you pull up that last video that we have?
Yeah.
How long is that one? Because I don't want to
34
interject you.
seconds.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Working on TikTok, we have a lot of potential buyers. There's tremendous interest in TikTok. The decision is going to be my decision, as you know, through Congress. They've given me the power to make the decision. We have a great team of people essentially taking bids. We have a lot of people that want to buy TikTok. We're dealing with China also on it because they may have something to do with it, and we'll see how that goes. But it's something I think you're going to have. I'd like to see TikTok remain alive.
Oh, I screwed up. I did not show any of the video. They just heard the. They heard the audio, so that's the only thing that matters. The audio is really what was important.
Hey, bump this shit. We've been in a whole hour bumping.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all obviously heard what Trump said.
Hold on, damn it! I had to fucking swap the audio back over. You blowing their eardrums out, man. I done told you about that. Okay, you good to go it out.
All right, but y'all heard what Trump said over there. Pretty much in that video, he's just talking about the TikTok deadlines coming up. Because remember, I think he gave out was a 70 or 75-day extension.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he gives out the extension. No surprise, we come up on the extension deadline. Nobody's done anything, and we've already talked about that previously. I'm not going to rehash into there. And it's pretty interesting that we have TikTok supposedly getting banned in the U.S. on the same day of these protests. If you recall, I don't remember what episode it was. It may have been our second, but we talked about the aviation deal and how it's really not a conspiracy and it's more of these, different plane accidents that have always happened. Planes have catch fires on the tarmac and different things like that, and there have been crashes. They've just never been mass reported. But suddenly this year, they're putting fear into you into being in the skies because air, we all know, is the quickest way to travel. So if you had to somehow leave the country, that's probably the fastest way you can get out of here. So it's odd. They don't want you up in the air. They want you grounded. We do some more. Hold up. We do some more digging. You have, I think, just recently, Japan, South Korea, and China have all decided to join sides and become an ally. So you get all this going down. Apparently, I think it was last night or something like that, March 30th, 31st. The airstrike in Yemen, I think, happens. Like 70, got hit 70 times.
Yeah.
So you start to see a lot of these different conflicts going on at the same time. And this stuff that we were hearing earlier in the year, like I said, with the aviation deal, and you got the whole immigration deal. So now you got people being kicked out the country. And at the same time, people aren't even really feeling safe to leave the country due to, how all these tariffs are happening. So some of these countries aren't fond of American people coming to their country.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're being stuck here for some kind of reason. And then you hear about protests April 5th. TikTok getting banned April 5th.
Yeah.
You add it all together, you're like, whoa, something's cooking up.
Yeah. On the lighter note, NBA. How about the Boston Celtics in second place at 56?
In the East Conference?
In the Eastern Conference. I mean, if you're like grouping by the what do you call it? If you're grouping by the end season, like the actual end season, I'll have to go back real quick. The actual Eastern end season, I mean, it's the Knicks are number one right now with 4-0. And then in the Western, you have the Rockets who are 3-2. But in the actual like Eastern and Western like 2024-2025 season, the Western right now, Thunder is in first place with 63-12, which is pretty damn good. And then in the Eastern, like I said, you have the Celtics in the second, 56-19. So heck yeah. But in first, you do have Cleveland. You have the Cavaliers at freaking 60-15 right now. So it's a little upsetting for me. But I feel like I mean, it's really upsetting because like my two teams are the Celtics and the Grizzlies. I have to see more standings in order just to see the Grizzlies. So no, I don't. Actually, hold on. No, I don't. Let me go back. If I go to Western, yeah, they're in 5th place with 44-31. I haven't even paid attention to the Grizzlies this season. I paid more attention to the Celtics because I've started to really like the Celtics play style more than the Grizzlies right now. And the Grizzlies have had a lot of drama going on here recently. Looking back a couple of years, but yeah. Who's your team right now, Elijah?
Oh, please, pray I don't got to sneeze. Oh, man. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I haven't watched the NBA in a minute. Normally, I'll tune in with the Warriors for the most part, but I don't think they're kind of obviously at their like tail end. You can tell they're definitely at the tail end that they're running at this rate. All Curry's doing is just putting himself deeper in the stat book.
Yeah. I know you had your March Madness bracket. How's it going?
That thing's been cooked, bro.
Been cooked? Is it just trash? It's just over?
One of my national champions lost. I think I had Tennessee, and they lost in the Elite Eight. I do have Houston winning it all in another bracket, but the issue is all the matchups leading up to it are all busted, so, like, it doesn't even really matter how it's ending now.
Yeah. Well, dang. That sucks. Maybe you'll bat 1,000 next year and you'll wind up getting a damn bracket worth of shit. You like actually guess the actual bracket.
But now that we are done talking, there you go. That's our
going to bed.
We're a little bit sleepy, so to give you a recap, he spoke about Elon Musk and Department of Government Efficiency and Wasteful Spending, and I talked about current events leading to protests against, ironically, protests against Elon Musk, but basically more of a message to people to stay safe and just be aware of what's going on around you. But other than that, we're just a little bit tired, and I know I may have sounded a little bit bland this podcast, but like I said, I'm just a little sleepy. You can kind of see it in my eyes.
I've tried to keep the energy for you. I've tried to keep it going, but there's only a certain amount I can do. But I think
I can't even see what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, he can't see me. He was like, it was having weird issues earlier. It's been a hard day. We've had a lot. Like I said, I've been taking notes since like 12 o'clock today. Like on and off at work, and then I get out, and then I get back, and I'm taking more notes. And just to sum it up, I got this little notebook today. I just started this notebook today. Just started it. I've already got fucking all these pages of notes in here. Like I've already taken up like probably let me count here. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 like individual slips of paper in here that have been completely taken up. So, I think we did pretty good today. I think our knowledge was pretty good. I'll have to get with you, Elijah, to get the actual titles of those articles. If anything, I'll get you to look them up. And tomorrow, whenever you get some free time, and you can go into the description of the video on YouTube Studio, which I got to get you to download the app. And that way you can actually access all the information and all and put it in there. But yeah, I'll give you that. That way you can link it down in there. And yeah, but as for all of you beautiful people out there, I will see all of you guys.
It ain't whoa. Better days, we'll see you later. There you go.
Yeah. I will see.
If we had a horrible day, how about you have a better one?
You need to be quiet.
You shut the fuck up.
We will see all you guys in the next one. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna display our screen, and then whatever. Play the outro. That means shut up, Elijah, so you don't get voiced over in it. But yeah, I will see all of you beautiful people out there when there are better days to come. Elijah, don't even say nothing. Don't even say nothing. I still got our screen up. Don't even say nothing. I saw that face you had. Don't even say nothing. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and end this. Hope all of you people enjoyed. And image time. And close Discord time.
What the hell?